What is going on, all you tanks, healers, and damage dealers? I am Septilin, joined by the handsome and wonderful and amazing, the Dream Team duo partner, Jag himself. We're going to be jumping into this in just a couple of minutes. We've got one of my favorite players is making an appearance right now from St. John's. The support of a lifetime up against a school from my state, Cincinnati. But Jag, tell us kind of about what Cincinnati's bringing to the table today, which I thought was super interesting.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say I'm not as handsome or as British as Ocean. But specifically, they're Irish. Sorry about that.
He did call himself British earlier, so...
Okay, then I will stand by it. But regardless, the Cincinnati squad is basically brand new. This is more of their B team roster. They only have, I believe, one returning player from the original one. It's EGFAJ. I actually don't really remember them that much from last season, but we'll see them in action regardless. But the program has made a lot of steps overall. I mean, Cincinnati has grown. Now they have 4 Overwatch teams. Last time they only had 1. And it's really interesting because they joined us in the middle of last season, went 4-4 now. Got a chance to prove themselves once more. They said they really want to beat Marist. And another thing they told me is that they've never lost on Lijiang Tower ever through 4 semesters of them having an Overwatch team. So if we do end up playing that tonight, that'd be interesting to see.
Now, I wish Lijiang was in the map pool because I keep talking about it. It's one of my favorite maps in the game. Obviously, you can't tell from the background, but no, Lijiang is not in the map pool tonight, unfortunately. But I'm curious. I gotta remember that. That's something I want to keep an eye out on. Is how long does that kind of stick around? How long does that stand? This is gonna be the map pool. Let's see if I can remember it, considering this is the 4th game. The first map is Busan, then it's Eichenwald, then it's Hanamura, then it's I'm not looking at my screen because I don't want to see if I'm right. Then it's Junkertown, and then it's Busan, and then after that we do Ilios. So hopefully we don't go to any more map 6s. Did I mess one up? What did I say?
Oasis. Well, you said Busan first, and then you said Busan 5th, but it's Oasis.
Oh, I meant Oasis. I swear I meant devastating.
But let's talk about St. John's really quickly before we get into the game. They've had one of the least amount of turnovers from what I've seen from EGF. A lot of teams have kind of started back at 0 square one. This roster, though, for the most part, the same. Only really 2 new players added to it. IGG has moved over to off-tank. And this St. John's squad, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later, but, I mean, this is one of the comeback stories of last season. They really had an uptick at the second half.
Yeah, I actually talked about that during the last broadcast, or during the broadcast with Villanova earlier. We talked about these teams that kind of had a very rough beginning of the season and then really turned around. I mean, St. John's, they made it all the way to semifinals, quarterfinals. They made it far last year. They came just above and beyond some serious aggression. Amazing up to that point. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the exact same level coming out now. Florby, I remember her support player from St. John's next to Liam was with the 2 of them. A powerhouse duo, if not some of my favorites here in the league. University of Cincinnati, a brand new roster, like we said. I have not seen any of these players. I've seen Ospeedy, but I don't know why or where, but I know darn well I recognize the name. So definitely a player that has been here before. Peach, she will be the first one to fall. That's Zenyatta offline. Rich, not far behind. However, it looks like St. John's, they've got this fight in the bag. Kevin, literally 1 HP taken offline by who found a 3K in the fight. St. John's, they lose the initial point cap, but it looks like they win the first fight.
20% though, not too bad for Cincinnati on that first fight. That could be a big difference maker later. They also built up their EMP, so we'll see how that works out. There's no Zenyatta on the side of St. John's, so there's really nothing that can counter this. The Immortality Field would be canceled out by it, and that's the difference between these 2 comps, the Zenyatta versus the Baptiste. The Baptiste does give you a bit more sustainability, especially with the Sigma, but it's not going to help you against the EMP.
Yeah, definitely not going to help against the EMP at all. Rich is going to be able to find that first kill. The T-Mac here from Shrimpman as well. Lake Falls. Yeah, Blink, and you missed it. Cincinnati, they do not even get a second attempt. They're just going to get wiped off the base of Busan here. So St. John's, they're going to find themselves some time, really start to pad those percentage bonuses here.
I know Speedy's got to live up to that namesake. Has to be a little bit quicker on the draw. The biggest mistake I see Sombras make is that they don't use that EMP quick enough. They wait for the perfect setup. Honestly, you don't have to try to go from the side. You can run in with your team. You're going to be invisible anyway, so why not go for it? Now you've got no translocator to come back to.
Yeah, and not having a translocator makes it really hard. If you come out of invisibility, you're just kind of at the mercy of the world around you. Now Shrimpman, a great eat on the fist bomb of Kevin Young, taken out by ITG early on, who immediately some lightning as well. Peach commits that transcendence, perhaps just a little bit too late there. Unfortunately, not able to find anything to really keep that team alive. The transformation now from Bridge into bomb. Joe finds a 2K of their own. St. John's University, they are just really bringing the heat here. Cincinnati, they have not been able to even blink. Joe hitting a 10-player kill streak right here.
Oh, and look at that Sacker. That's so well done. Now the Diva's gonna have the longest respawn. They do have self-destruct, but this is going to be last phase territory. The good news is that they do have 3 ultimates to work with, and they're moving to 6-man, so instead of going for a more of a dive, they're going to play this like Brawl. The only difference is that they have a Winston instead who can jump up.
Yeah, the Winston might be able to help here, except not really against the Ridge. The EMP is going to be able to hit ITG and Fistful, but there's very little follow-up. It says ITG finds the kill onto Osby, so that EMP really just kind of committed down the drain there. Ridge is going to be able to find Lake, and a lot of damage comes out. Peach falls as well. University of Cincinnati, they capped 23% early, but I do not think they are getting anything else after St. John's. Looking just as good as they were at the end of last season.
Yeah, absolutely. This roster is stacked again, like less changeover, the better. 4 core is still there. The support line is still there, and I'm going to say I like Cincinnati's comp a little bit more, but the way they executed it just wasn't ideal in that scenario. You really have to take out the supports. You got to go for the Baptiste. You got to go for the Mercy first to really cripple any chance for St. John's to get momentum there. But once they had that point, it's very hard for them to give it up. And Cincinnati switching to 6-man just a little bit too late. That EMP also coming out a little bit too late. They tried going for the self-destruct EMP combination, and they just couldn't find anything with it.
Yeah, the EMP I really think didn't make perhaps the impact that Cincinnati really wanted it to, but they're going to be swapping it up. The Symmetra, the May, I love the May choice. Saw a lot of that earlier. Fiscal going to be rootin' tootin' ready for shooting over on that Cowboy. O-Speedy going for the Reaper. I almost like the Symmetra pick more, if I'm being honest. I think Sim really can make some more impact.
Sim can destroy shields, but Reaper can do so much more damage, especially to tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Just busting through these shields or even racing past them and just getting up close and personal. Kevin the Ox losing that wall early. Jolt finds one. Fistful picks up another. The main tank down the drain. Ospeedy finds Slurpee, but I think the damage has already been done. Cincinnati losing 3.
This is really intriguing that they're playing with the Hanzo, because really what this comp wants to do with the McCree is they kind of want to run in. The flashbang is mostly effective at medium to short range, but because they also have this Hanzo, they want to play a little bit further away for the most part, but their tanks are still running in. So the comp, a little bit disconnected, but it's still working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like what you said, that a little bit of disconnect, but it's really still working. Now, there was a decent shatter there onto Lake and O-Speedy from Joe, who was then immediately for the follow-up on the shatter. Wasn't perhaps what Cincinnati wanted, and now St. John's is going to be, or perhaps was what Cincinnati wanted, sorry, excuse me. Perhaps this is going to be St. John's coming through and finding the quadruple kill, I think. 3 or 4 went down. It's crazy. What was it, the third team fight? We're only 27% on point.
Yeah, and part of that is because it took so long for the point to cap. They only had 1 person from St. John's getting it in. The other thing is just the first fight went on for quite a while. They wanted to clean it up, and now they're going to try to throw in the Dragons.
We've seen some weird Dragons today, but some very successful ones at that. Now, that one didn't make a lot of impact in terms of damage, but it created enough space for St. John's to capitalize. The Cowboy reminding somebody what time it is, but not really able to find the answer, not able to pick up any of the eliminations. Slurpee finds Kevin. Slurpee, I've got to say, she has taken a note out of Liam's book, a very aggressive support today.
Yeah, sometimes the Lucio, you just have to mark your target, boot them off you, and hope that you live, build up that sound barrier. Cincinnati, they're going to try to rotate. The biggest thing is they have so many ultimates to work with.
Yeah, a lot of ults to work with. Holy cow. Joe, 3-man Earth Shatter. O-Speedy trying to save the day with the pump, but hardly finds any damage off the back of it. The Blizzard now, I would suspect, going to be making an appearance from Kevin here somewhere during this fight, especially post-beat cross coming up. Slurpee, Lightning Force. Oh my goodness, 5 ultimates at once from the University of Cincinnati. They find one. Find 2. ITG uses that mech as well and bites the bullet, but University of Cincinnati, now they have literally nothing for this next engagement. They used every ultimate they had.
Oh, the Neon Lizard get out. Oh my goodness, Neon Lizard gets out. This is huge. So, because of that, this actually lets St. John's re-engage much quicker. And like you said, Cincinnati, they just used everything they had. They are somewhat close to the Death Blossom from the Reaper, so there's a chance they could use that. But the Dragons from Rich, I think they're going to use that to separate the Cincinnati lineup, and then they're probably going to use Liam Lizard's Amplification Matrix just to do damage.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a lot of damage coming through. Peach will be the first one to fall. Those Dragons making a pretty big impact. O-Speedy finds the trade onto Ridge. Jolt and Joe, 92%. These shadows, I've got to say, have been consistently big. I don't think Joe has missed one yet. This is I feel there's so little Cincinnati can do here because they have no ult. They're going to have to find like a really lucky pick to turn this back around, or to keep this momentum.
Yeah, but they have stalled out for quite a while. That's the shatter. It hits a bunch of people.
Yeah, that was something there. The beat coming out from Lightning, perhaps a little too late post-shatter. Lake finding a couple shatter stuns of their own. It looks like it's going to be Shrimp Man finding a kill. Just out Lake 2 here. Lightning also falls, so that is what is going to be kind of the page turner for St. John's University. They find 4 eliminations now. 63% though. They found the kills. They've won the fight. They've got a cap.
Man, this is something that I've seen a little bit from St. John's here on this Brawl comp, is that they're winning fights, but their point presence is not there. They are not like capping quick enough, and although I'm not sure it'll affect him at the end of this, as Speedy has the only ultimate and he is going to be taking a while to get back from spawn, it's given time for Cincinnati to come back in.
Yeah, absolutely, and losing 2 off the bat like that Death Blossom's got to get 6, or it's not worth it. I mean, you really got to be careful with these ults, and OSP doesn't even get to press Q, just immediately dismissed from the fight. Tripman loses the mech, and yeah, Lincoln, you visit Busan coming to a close. I believe the only 2-0 Busan we've seen today. Oh no, I'm sorry, Villanova and Delaware 2-0, but only 2 out of 5. We've seen a lot of Stage 3.
And there was a chance for Cincinnati. I think it's really Speedy going down later than everyone else, getting staggered out just a little bit. They needed that Death Blossom. That was really what was the catalyst for them winning this point in the first place. And then when they didn't have that, it was really hard for them to do anything else. They panicked a little bit. They tried to run in, and that attempt was not going to cut the cake, unfortunately. The Cincinnati, though, still keeping that second round close, the first one to being a little bit more one-sided. And I think the biggest thing we're learning about St. John's early on, and they told me this when I did do media day with them, is they are not a one-trick team anymore. I mean, they still did really well last season. I think I did the numbers today. They went 2-6 stage 1 and then 7-1 their second stage. Like, that's a huge glow up. But they mostly were running one comp, the meta, always at that time, and they weren't as adaptable. Now you're seeing that they can throw out a bunch of different looks, already 2 very different compositions early on.
Yeah, kind of almost Vancouver Titans Season 2-esque of running goats and dominating, and then as soon as the ball dropped, Vancouver fell apart. But we're seeing the opposite of that here from St. John's. You've got a great point there, and they ran one comp. They did it well. They did it super well. 7-1. That's literally almost perfect. So now they're coming through. They're not only running one comp, being a little bit more than a one-trick pony can take this team even further. And to think that this team can go further, being as close as they were to winning all of EGFC last year is... I'm stoked.
Yeah, they have a special place in my heart, honestly. I think they were one of my favorite teams to watch last year, just to see like how far they have. I think William and Mary was another one. We really like seeing how they kind of evolved over the course of the season. But St. John's especially, they really were able to kick it up a notch, and here starting off on a very good note. We have that second map coming up in just a moment. So to see if St. John's can keep it up. I can't even... I didn't look at the map pool enough. I'm sorry, I'm pulling it. Eichenwald, there we go. So that is going to be an interesting map, I think, because there's a lot you can do. I was watching you and Ocean for the last series, and we saw a bit of double shield, a bit of a dive attempt, but mostly Brawl. So I think Brawl is probably what we'll see. But the thing about right now in Overwatch is I feel like there really isn't a set meta.
Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that, and that's arguably my favorite thing about where we are right now is we're not just watching, okay, Ryan Zarya, or okay, Double Bubble, or, you know, obviously can't do goats anymore. It's every map calls for a different engagement. That's my favorite thing about kind of where the meta is right now, is it's not all 5 maps you can run the same thing and win. You have to adapt. You have to improve, or you're going to get stomped. And I think St. John's, that used to kind of be their kryptonite, was struggling with adaptation. But they figured it out last year, and clearly, I mean, the progress has been made. They have that awesome advantage of getting to work with the same team. So I can assume they did that over the summer as well, which is something a lot of these teams didn't get the opportunity for because brand new rosters, right? You can't work with a team you don't know you have.
Yeah, that's kind of where Cincinnati is right now. They have a mostly brand new roster. Their program has expanded beyond their wildest dreams, so there's a lot more that they're working at the same time. There's a bit of a shuffle. People might not, you know, be able to find their home on a certain team right away. You know, that's kind of the growing pains of building a collegiate organization, but you still love to see it regardless. The question is now, can they answer back? Because in my honest opinion, I thought they had the better compositions on both rounds of Busan, the more, I would say, traditional ones. But, you know, the adaptations that St. John's made, they kind of walked to the beat of their own drum, and because of that, even though it wasn't the most ideal comp, they still were able to win both rounds.
Yeah, and I can say this here, I've been talking about them a lot already, but it does feel different. I still believe St. John's has one of, if not the strongest support line in the EGFC, and I think that makes beyond an insane difference. I think between Liam Lizard and Stevie, these two, both of them, it's not even just one carrying. They are some of the most consistent support players that I think I have ever seen, and that is what I believe truly makes a difference for this team. The rest of the players are amazing as well, but the fact that they almost never go down, that's the deal breaker for a lot of these other teams.
And a lot of that comes to synergy. When you're playing with
Yes,
another support
yes.
duo, I mean, you're the ones healing each other up. You're the ones keeping each other alive. So making sure that you're on the same page in the same space, all of that really makes a world of difference. Like you said, they were usually the last to fall, if at all. And I think a big play we saw there was on boost. And I said, Liam Lizard getting out was huge, and a big part of that was because Slurpee actually got the boop on who was chasing, which I think was so speedy on the Reaper.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they can turn on the full defense mode and they can turn on the full offense mode as well. And that's the scariest thing about them. Some great hybrid players. But now it's going to be re-engagement here in St. John's. Looks like they're going to be on the offense to boot, and O-Speedy does not even get to play the game. Doesn't even get to think about it, actually. It looks like O-Speedy is going to get rezzed up by Peach there, so you get to come through, able to find some great value as well. Shrimpman finds that elimination onto Jolton Joe. St. John's had such a great opener, but losing your Winston in a double bubble comp, you pretty much got to peel back and run.
Yeah, you gotta head for the hills for a little bit. It's gonna be really difficult, I feel like, with this dive comp to get a lot of progress. This composition is really made for anti-dive. I would say the only thing that would make it more anti-dive is getting a Torbjorn instead of the Hanzo, but still the Hanzo can be great at, getting rid of the Echo or the Tracer, so the DPS really have to make their mark, but it's really the tanks just sticking together, sticking with their Baptiste, and making sure that they can hold strong and kind of just bunker up. The Pharmacy is the most interesting part of that composition. Pharah is pretty good on this first point. You can play around tower, but as you saw there, just got completely melted by the Echo. The Echo could just wipe you with the sticky bombs first, and then that focusing beam, you just get destroyed because that focusing beam does tons more damage once you're at half health.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is like the third team today I think we've seen. Would be on the fourth game, so 8 teams in total. I think this is the third one we've seen try to play Pharmacy on Eichenwald defense like that, and none of them have, like literally 0 of them have worked up to this point. We saw O-Speedy there, almost didn't work, right? They were lucky enough to get rezzed out by Peach, and I still find it very interesting. I just believe Echo is the superior aerial-based hero, right? Pharah, anything Pharah does, I think Echo can do better. And I think that forcing a Pharah in that scenario just, it doesn't mesh well, in my opinion, with any comp that we've seen them trying to run.
The biggest thing is that Pharah is more like a solo kind of hero that you want to run. Like, the Pharmacy is kind of doing its own thing. When you're running an Echo, it's much more team-based. Sure, you can melt people on your own, but if you get like a group sticky bomb, just a cluster of enemies are hit by it, that's when your Winston gets the ghost signal. That's when they jump in. That's when they get the Zarya bubble. So a lot of your initiation is based around that. Other times you're waiting on your Tracer to try to do the same thing. But you saw there, they got that opening pick, but they just weren't in a position to follow up. That Resurrection comes in, and that's what is the saving grace for University of Cincinnati so far on their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the last thing that happened was Jolton Joe went down, right? That was the Winston had fallen, so we're expecting St. John's to kind of peel back and turn tail a little bit, regroup, and go for the re-engage, because if there's just an immediate Echo kill again, that's another fight opener. They can really capitalize off the back of it, and I think there was only like 30-something seconds off there. There was a technical bug, so we're getting that fixed out right now. The spectators from the team, so we need to move everybody manually, but they're back into the swing of things here. St. John's. Oh, I'm sorry, it was almost a full minute off the clock, so I definitely thought less time had passed, but we're going to have to see O-Speedy really make it count on the farm.
I mean, honestly, maybe don't even bother taking the 1v1 in the air. Maybe just focus on getting the tanks down.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. We saw that issue earlier with some Widowmakers that were constantly worried about taking the 1v1 rather than like going for supports or helping burn down the tanks. And I think that's kind of what should be better here. Now, then we heard the Nano boost go down onto Jolton Joe, I think? Yeah, okay, so it looks like we are going to see that Nano who does more damage out of Nano than in it. And it looks like it really just did the work. The tank line there for St. John's, the double bubble. They just rolled 5 kills between the two of them there in that one fight.
And what did they do there, Sepulence? They ignored the Pharmacy. They went immediately for the backline. They zone out the Hanzo. They zone out the Mercy. And from there, they're just able to clean up that fight pretty decisively. Now I think the dive pop actually works much better here than on the first point, because the high ground is so important here. You really need to control it.
Yeah, absolutely. The high ground, traditionally to any FPS, the high ground is unbelievably really helps your team get a natural advantage, as you can see more of the opponent than they can of you simply looking upwards. Now, St. John's, Jolton Joe probably gonna go for a primal, I would assume, getting hyper aggressive. Yeah, there's that primal coming out. O-Speedy finds Fiscal, but Jolton Joe already finding Kevin, and now just getting double aggressive, knocking everybody off the high ground. I think the McCree is caught in the corner there as well, so the Cowboy will fall. O-Speedy goes down. ITG able to find Lake, and Rich almost misses the ledge, just barely able to make it. Finds Lightning off the back of it. My goodness, what a one-sided fight there for St.
They do commit a lot there, but
Yeah.
they do get the value they need. They now have complete control of the high ground. There's really no way for Cincinnati to get back onto this. They're going to have to play the bridge, where they might have an advantage because of that Orisa pull as well as the accretion, but they really have to set up soon or they're just going to get poked out.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing their cards incredibly carefully here. Joe gonna get hyper aggressive, trying to find that damage, but actually it's gonna be ITG who goes down. Kevin the Ox now on the Hanzo, getting that headshot. Slurpee somehow literally rests them in the middle of a fight. Oh, and the grab! Oh, the res into grab meta right there. Didn't even hesitate, an immediate Q. Honestly, crazy high risk, because if that Sigma was using his eat, that grab was just gone.
You know what's even crazier? Through all this, Jolton Joe is 96% health. They used it a fight ago. Primal before Nano. That is insane. And Rich has the duplicate almost online after literally just using it. These ultimates from St. John's, they're just coming on so quick. There's nothing that really can be done by Cincinnati.
Yeah, they gotta change his name to Jolton Joe No, because that has gotta be what these teams are thinking when they run into this guy. And what a clearly strong addition to St. John's already. Like, this Winston is, of course, as I say that he dies, but that's like,
Immediately gets blown up.
I think that's like the second time Jolton Joe has died this entire map. So that's crazy in its own right. Just an incredible performance from St. John's as a whole so far, but again, I think Jolton Joe's the only new player to be making an appearance right now. Such a positive impact already.
Yeah, absolutely. Really a strong start for them. I think the biggest thing there for Cincinnati is they are able to finally hold. This is the first time. They do commit 2 ultimates to the one on the side of St. John's, but their ult bank is much healthier, so if they're able to rotate here, they can have a pretty solid defense, and as you see now, the Reinhardt is going to come out because that's the better play here.
Yeah, the Reinhardt making an appearance is certainly the better play here, and I'd love to see what Jolton Joe's able to do, hopefully not immediately die. Okay, he did make it out, was able to charge with May. Rich gonna be swapping out of the Sigma, might just die before they can really get any value from it, gonna be swapped back into that Echo. Lightning picking up a kill onto Slurpee there. Rich forced on that transformation as well. A lot of ultimates getting ready here on both sides, but Liam Blizzard going and committing that nano boost onto Joe here. It's gonna be able to help them pick up O-Speedy, so 1 already, but the spawn advantage so aggressively in favor of University of Cincinnati. The St. John's, they can't be winning via 1 or 2 eliminations. They've got to go for a full-blown team kill.
Dragon's gonna come through, it's gonna zone them off, and I don't think there's really much that can be done here by St. John's anyway. The Diva's out of mech, you need the remech to have all of that, sustain all that damage absorption, but now they want to go back in.
Yeah, they're just going to go for it. They know they're pretty close to a lot of ultimates, and Slurpee, she gets taken out immediately again. Very unfortunate that Lucio returns just to be dismissed from a second fight. Shrimpman is gone 2 meters, 2.5 meters away. Even if St. John's gets held right, they have made it all the way to the bitter end. An amazing shatter, 2 of them into another nano boost, and Jolton Joe finds both of them. Looks for that D-Mac onto the Diva as well. Here comes the Baptiste, resurrection onto a but I think the damage has been done. I think Jolton Joe just signed the death warrant here for the University of Cincinnati on Eichenwald. Kevin picks up a kill onto Liam, but again, I think it's just too late. Is that another Earth Shatter?
What's going on? What is going
Second
on?
Earth Shatter? Jolton Joe. Oh man, and Fiscal just finds 3 on the Cowboy. That was just ruthless. I don't know if there's a better word for it. That was ruthless.
I wish we had like a statistician or something right now to let us know how many ultimates were gained in that last like minute or so, because those 2 nanos, 2 shatters.
2 shatters.
Like, oh my goodness, St. John's, they are just, this is a team to watch out for. I feel like they've come into this year and they whatever they learned during the spring semester, they took that and they have like executed it tenfold. Another thing they talked to me about was that a lot of the reasons that they struggled last year is they cared way too much about the end result as opposed to the process of what got to the end result. And you can tell just like the way they're executing these strategies, they have really worked on how to run these competitions. They are very aware of what their win conditions are. And even when they were down Slurpee, I think they lost Slurpee twice in that last minute or so. She was able to come back, they were able to stabilize, they were able to wait, and then they just ran back in once they had that Lucio speed.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, I feel like St. John's has made some really bold choices, and I feel like they have all paid off. Like, it has been, we've seen some high-risk, high-reward plays. We've seen some truly feast or famine plays, but I don't think they've failed one yet.
Might fail here. I actually really like the composition coming out from Cincinnati, and with this May, they might try to go over.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, the May wall. I know you know what you were talking about that before. Use the May wall. You kind of just put the teleporter right up on that right side, right where our observer and producer Juke is showing us right now. And if they're able to do that, they are going to be able to run right through this double shield, because Brawl almost always wins as long as you can close the distance.
Oh, boo. All right, they're not going to do it, I guess, but they're going to TP just right into... Oh, no, they're not. Psych, the TP gets immediately destroyed, so now University... Cincinnati. They've got to go the long rotation, which is going to make this hard for Lake as they have to re-engage with the shield up. The shield's going to get melted, and that makes it so much for the Reinhardt to make the magic happen now. One turret goes down, but you got to do a lot more than that to really turn this fight back in your team's favor. Joe trapped here, and that's the perfect place this Reinhardt wants them, able to escape out the back. 2 ticks already in favor of Cincinnati. There may not be a real fight here. Cincinnati might just sneak this point right out from underneath St. John's. The first elimination for Rich. The Cowboy picks up another, and Shrimp Man finds ITG, but nobody touches a 6-minute time bank, and St. John's might win the fight, but the damage has been done.
And that's the problem. I mean, the Symmetra turret itself, or teleporter doesn't work out, but the way you play that is you just run straight at your enemies because double shield does not work out well into this comp. Reinhardt can just overpower a Sim gun Orisa. Unless you're able to get a really good pull rock combination, they're going to win that every time. But St. John's, because they're playing so close, so they're just going to use the Ant Matrix.
I mean, you might as well. At this point, you're looking for a spawn hold, and Rich just going for the Cowboy swap, even finding the kill. High Noon. Oh my goodness, it's going to get 0 kills, but the audacity to do it. I love it. Super big brain, super high play coming through there, and it looks like we're going to be able to see just St. John's, they're spawn holding somebody on Eichenwald right now.
They're like, you know what, we're going to make this mistake our advantage. We're just going to play right. We're not even letting the cart get to the gate. The gate has not even been unlocked yet. They're going to run this comp as long as they can. My guess is they'll probably want to swap it once they lose this fight, but they have these ultimates, so why not use them? Why not try to rotate them while you have this positioning?
Yeah, this is... okay, so another High Noon coming out from Fiscal there. O-Speedy does bite the bullet, and did O-Speedy's... Wait, I'm so confused. Okay, Fiscal just swapped to the Cowboy, right? I've seen too many of them. I don't know, but Lake does find a pretty big rogue channel. I think picked up 3, and somehow St. John's is still being more successful. They are coming through here. Lightning is going to be able to find a kill, but the damage has been done. St. John's, they are up in the numbers. Maybe Cincinnati wins the next fight, but right now I think St. John's has this.
That Baptiste, their mortality field having to come out to save them. If that didn't come out a second sooner from Liam Lizard, they would have fallen themselves. I think you're right. I think there are some late respawns from St. John's, so they might not get there in time. And going into this blizzard that's going to be coming out from Kevin, it's really hard to win this. That Sig doesn't have to have an amazing grasp. The grasp is a much harder ability to use than the D.Va defense matrix, but oh my goodness, O-Speedy's just getting zoned out right now.
Yeah, O-Speedy is just getting... I feel like they haven't really been able to play the game since the middle of Busan. They have just been getting taken out time and time again, over and over, just consistently. It feels like a 5v6, and by no means is that O-Speedy's fault. St. John's, they have just chosen their prey, and they have capitalized off of it every single time. Now, what was once almost a 6-minute time bank, already a minute and a half. Did Kevin ult? Oh, no!
Yeah,
oh, the blizzard! Is this the same St. John's that I'm terrified. I am absolutely terrified for any other team in the EGFC Overwatch season right now, because if St. John's brings this heat to the table every week, I don't see a world they don't take this.
Especially with the changes to other rosters. That's going to be the Gravitic Flux coming out. They do lose their Orisa. This might be the fight that's finally won out by Cincinnati.
Yeah, Lake falls. Slurpee's gone. Yeah, okay. I think Cincinnati has finally broken the curse. About 3 minutes later, they are finally going to be able to get the wheels moving once again. And now, I mean, St. John's, they went from, like you said, they went from a serious deficit, but they stalled so long that now Cincinnati just has a traditional time bank.
Yeah, and here's the question now for St. John's. Do you keep the ultimates you have? Because I was going to say just use your ult bank and then eventually swap to the Reinhardt so you can match this, but now you have a supercharger, you have the High Noon, you also have an Ant Matrix and almost a Valkyrie, so there's so many things that you can use here that you're probably going to stick on this for a while, and that can be dangerous if you don't adapt quick enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is sink or swim. You need to adapt in time or you're just going to get obliterated. And Rich right now, I don't know if the non-sponsored gamer liquid has kicked in for St. John's or if they're just injecting it right into the bloodstream at this point, but they are tearing it up. There's no other word. They are ripping Cincinnati apart.
Here's my question. In gaming, is that considered like a extra substance or something like that?
Is that like steroid? Is that the steroid equivalent?
You can't use any more of that non-sponsored gamer liquid, but...
Gamer liquid is not allowed pre-series.
Ant Matrix is going to come out and it's going to zone off Cincinnati.
Cincinnati getting zoned out here. They're down to 102 seconds. Like, they had a 6-minute time bank. And they've moved the cart, what, 86 meters? Oh, unlucky High Noon there from Fiscal. Great immortality field out from Peach. And here comes Rich from the high ground. Goes for the high series McCree swap. Oh, just getting belted out there. Misses the headshot onto O-Speedy. Has the High Noon. Probably won't use it. It just kind of makes you a bit of a sitting duck to come through. Okay, actually goes for it, but Doesn't. Oh, finds a D-Mat. Whoa! What a flick onto Shrimpman there. Picks up O-Speedy as well. I don't know about you, Jag, but I'm really feeling a DPS dip at this point.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Two ultimates from Kevin that just you're gonna want back. That I think the Mei Blizzard was just really unlucky because you die in the animation so easily, and you know just running through that, you can't run like kind of blindly as a Mei with no help. That time trying to clean it up, trying to be the hero, couldn't get it done in St. John's. Only has the Valkyrie, but they have the high ground, and this Rich is just fragging out. Rich has been insane.
Yeah, Rich. I knew Rich was good. After the Rich we saw last year, like I knew Rich was good, but this has been beyond good. This team has gone, I will say it, St. John's has gone from a bad team. They became a good team. This is a great team. This is a phenomenal team. In Cincinnati, they are also a very good team. And St. John's is still managing to 6-minute hold them on Eichenwald.
This is going to be the growing pain of a new squad for Cincinnati. They are holding their own. They're not getting shut out, but they need to find more than just a little bit. And now they got to find a lot, as this is going to be the overtime push.
The overtime push, and they've got to push this beyond the football field here. They've got to take this all the way to the end, but I believe St. John's has successfully won Eichenwald here with a 3-0 victory. I mean, 6 is going to turn into 1. Poor Lightning might try to touch to stall out, but is not going to be anywhere close out of that spawn. This is certainly something. St. John's absolutely dominating Eichenwald.
And again, it's a thing where I feel like Cincinnati has the better composition. I was saying, like, St. John's, like, you should swap eventually. They didn't, and they didn't need to because, I mean, look at plays like this from Rich. They're just insane. So this is actually when they lose the point. And I thought that, you know, Rich should be the touch. I thought Rich should be the one trying to flank behind. But still, getting so much damage on, and this sets them up for that forward hold that they're able to get because they win so many of those eliminations at the very end. Even though they give up the point, they're just able to play before the gate, and that completely ruins any chance for Cincinnati to move the cart.
Absolutely. I just can't believe we talked about how the old St. John's used to really struggle with adaptation. They used to struggle with swapping and adapting, but they literally adapt. We watched it happen on the spot. They lost first point, and then they were like, you know what? Let's just become the aggressor. Let's become the offense here. And they did exactly that. Nearly a 4-minute hold. We're going to throw it to a super short break. We're going to let these teams talk about what they want to do moving into Hanamura, our third and possibly final map of the series. We'll be right back with some more action. Get up, get some water, stretch your legs, do what you got to do, but come back because this has just been an amazing series so far. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, all you tanks, healers, and damage dealers. Still the Dream Team, Septilence and Jack, bringing you a very one-sided matchup so far. St. John versus University of Cincinnati. Very team up against a brand new one. This does feel very much like Delaware and Villanova earlier today, but Cincinnati, we talked about this a little bit during the break. You might have even said it on the stream. I don't remember. They are showing very many signs of... There is very clearly a lot of potential for this team.
Yeah, first of all, I want to also include Juke in that Dream Team because, you know, we can't make the magic without him. But, yeah, Cincinnati, I mean, it seems like they're a very well-coached team. This are very smart. Their compositions are very good. It just seems like, you know, the skill level is a little bit askewed to St. John's right now, which isn't surprising knowing that a lot of their players, you know, are in that Masters BM ranking. So sometimes mechanical skill can beat out better meta compositions. So yeah, we're going to go into what could be our final map of these series, Hanamura. And I gotta say, ending on Assault always feels a little anticlimactic, in my opinion.
I've been saying that literally every stream so far. I'm like, I really hope it does not end on Hanamura. That just sucks all the energy out of St. John's. Keeps steamrolling the way they have been. I don't see it ending another way.
I mean, the good news is Hanamura is beautiful, at least. So, like, we can enjoy the view, right? The cherry blossoms look so nice. It's a very nicely designed map. It's just, you know, Assault as a game mode in general. Like, there's a reason it's not going to be an Overwatch 2. But like you said, you know, if St. John's does get off to a hot start, that could really just be the difference maker here. That's what they did in Eichenwald, and they never really stop except for a few fights near the end of their attack. They are going to be on the defense, so, you know, it could be a bit of a different showing. The Orisa D.Va comp is something that really hasn't been popular, I would say, since 2019. It was a good counter to the Orisa Roadhog meta, because if you weren't a good Roadhog, you could just play D.Va and kind of eat any of the pulls, but I have noticed that it's making a little bit of a comeback nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen... It's a unique one. It's not a comp that I feel we see very often, but St. John's Fiscal on the Pharah here, I don't know. I just don't like Pharah recently.
I think the big issue right now is, like, where's your point presence? Orisa, you know, she is a horse, but she does not move very quickly despite the 4 legs. They want to play split, but it's going to leave the point completely open, and because you have a pharmacy, there's even less bodies you can really put on the grounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we see Ospeedy on the Symmetra. That makes me think we're probably... Yeah, okay, going to go for a high ground team. That is the 4th series in a row that we've seen that exact strategy through, and it has worked, it hasn't worked. We're really going to have to see what Cincinnati brings to the table to find that action here. Ozzy, oh, also, we forgot to mention the substitutions. Cincinnati, they have subbed in Nacho and Ozzy on the and DPS respectively. So we want to keep an eye on the May and the Baptiste to really see if they make a difference here for UC.
And they are able to win this fight. I think this is going to be St. John's turning it around, but they gave up 2 ticks because of the Symmetra. And this is my worry, is that, you know, your Orisa is kind of going to be left out to dry because she's really the only one who doesn't have any movement abilities. The D.Va can fly, the Soldier can run, you know, Mercy can fly, Baptiste can jump, so everyone has a way out except for the Orisa. So there, Jolton Joe is left out, ends up falling. University of Cincinnati, they get a lot of tick progress, but not a lot of progress towards their ultimate, which is surprising.
Yeah, very much so. Not a lot of old progress at all. Lake, I mean, almost exactly halfway to an Earth Shatter, so relatively close. A couple of swings are going to be able to put that up, but they're going to really have to get in. Fiscal has the barrage, able to find, you know, 1.5, gets the immortality field out of there, finds a lot of damage as well, which St. John's, they're really able to capitalize off the backup. Rich in particular, rocking and rolling on the legs. I feel like we've seen a lot of Soldier 70s at pro level here at the collegiate level as well, but I mean, it's working very well. We talked about kind of needing some ground presence, and I think Rich is kind of almost substituting themselves in that position so Fiscal can utilize the air more often.
Take the rate of that. I mean, you're seeing that Rich is controlling the high ground, is able to, you know, use the rocket launcher to bounce himself up, get all the way up here, but also has just been running around the point. Now has the visor, and my guess is they're going to try to find an angle behind them once the teleport has come through, and maybe hold on to it for a little bit longer, but actually they might try to just zone him out.
Yeah, Rich. Okay, yeah, Rich getting bullied here. Probably gonna. I mean, I doubt they're gonna drop to kill him. Honestly, yeah, they're just giving room to the fight. They're gonna go in for some aggression. He finds Nacho in the back line. Main support down, pops the visor from the heavens, gonna force the photon barrier from OSPD, but still managing to find 2 kills. 2 might even turn into 3. Completely uncontested on the high ground right now. St. John's got some great value here, just constantly farming away. This Rich, in particular, really, I mean, doing great on the Echo, doing great on the Soldier here as well. As I say, it falls to his turret, but still, this might be University of Cincinnati's final time to shine. Liam Blizzard able to pick up that kill out of OSPD. Ozzy gone, and here comes Rich once again. University of Cincinnati, 94%.
And I gotta question that resurrection just a little bit from Slurpee. She's been great on this Mercy, but the Orisa was down too. The Soldier can run back so much quicker from point. And also the Orisa had the Bongo. She had the Supercharger. So that's really one of the only two ultimates you have right now. And while Rich might be able to hold the high ground, there's really nothing, no shield to stop. It's not even just rolling in.
Yeah, Rich able to find the Immortality Field already, so a 30-second cooldown down the drain. Lake is able to pick up ITG with the Shatter, but oh, there we go, Slurpee with the melee kill onto the Baptiste. Lake going to be eliminated as well. There goes Ozzy. ITG loses mech, but this fight is said and done. That is going to be University of Cincinnati. I mean, an essential team kill here as soon as that
Lucio down, now Cincinnati, they're swapping, they're trying to go for a bit of a more mobile comp. They're going to go for the Wrecking Ball. And, alright, so they're going to go for the Sombras. So, who is your hack target here? Probably going to be looking for the D.Va or the Pharah, if possible. The D.Va is really going to be the big one, so you can make sure there is no defense major. Look at where Rich is setting up. Going to be trying to go for, again, another visor from behind.
Yeah, and I mean, the last one was successful enough, so we're going to have to see what comes from this one. But giving their position away a little early, however, Fiscal making the most of it. They turn their heads to stare at Rich, and Fiscal takes a prime opportunity to dismiss both supports with less than 10 seconds on the clock. The visor comes out, but at this point, I mean, it's just insult to injury. This is nothing but St. John's all day long. University of Cincinnati, they've got to 94%, so no matter what happens, Hanamura is not drawable.
It's not, and this could be a pretty quick take if St. John's is able to just get a team wipe early on, able to win the fight decisively. If it extends, Cincinnati might have a chance to get back in there. My guess is they're probably going to stick on the sim on defense. A lot of teams will run it if they do it on attack, use that teleporter to get you back across that jump, as it's kind of right over there, a little bit past where this tree is. You just try to jump that gap. Not going to be possible for most heroes, but that sim TP makes it so much easier. I got to say one thing, Sebslince. Every time I'm telling St. John's not to do something, they make it work. And
it's amazing.
It's just because they're so good. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's not the right comp. It doesn't matter if they lose a few ticks. They're able to execute their plan to perfection.
Ready for battle.
It's been so unique, and I keep talking about this, but they keep blowing me away. This team used to struggle so badly with adaptation, and now they're just bringing out any team comp they can. Like, it's incredible.
We've seen so many looks from them. The brawl, the double shield, the double bubble, the Wrecking Ball. We've literally seen, like, basically every main composition that you can see a team run. And sometimes they have some adaptations to those. You know, they'll run the Pharmacy with the Orisa, they'll run the Hanzo McCree with the Brawl, but they make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a player earlier today, I can't think of her name, she was a support player, but she played like either 3, 4, maybe even 5 different supports, and her adaptation alone gave the team such an aggressive advantage. So to see that everybody on the side of St. John's is adapting, playing different roles, like that's so scary. All 6 of them can adapt. That's a terrifying thought.
That's NTP's gonna come in just to try to force the Sigma off high ground, and oh my god, they did!
Yep, they got him here. Sigma's gonna get caught out. ITG immediately dismissing that shield, so double shield turns into single shield there. Liam already finds lightning. Folks, I think it's over. Liam Listen picks up the Pharmacy by his lonesome there. The hit scan hero in the form of a Baptiste looking for a 3rd kill, keeping that team alive, gets Blake down with the help of Rich. Nacho's gone. That's it. Between Rich and Liam Blizzard, that was a complete and total team kill. There is nothing the University of Cincinnati could have done there to end that series. That is, I mean, maybe the Wrecking Ball stalls for 3 seconds, but here comes Liam Blizzard just patting that KD. Fiscal finds lightning, and that is it. St. John's absolutely steamroll the series 3-0.
You know what you call that? What we just saw from Liam Lizard? We call that supportal combat. That Baptiste, he does so much damage. I mean, at one point he did more DPS than Soldier 76.
Oh,
now
absolutely.
Soldier's changed. Now he does do more damage than Baptiste, but you know, don't count out these support players. They have good aim. They can hit their shots, and they're able to, off the back of that, just go through this point. I don't dislike, again, the idea for Cincinnati, but
right.
Once you see that teleporter as a segment, you gotta bounce. You just gotta run away, and Shrimpman a little bit too late, tried to use the grass, wasn't enough shield to keep them alive, and the Pharmacy tried to go all the way behind, but at that point, the teleporter had already been used, and everyone else is away from you, and your flank is not working out.
Yeah, I think the idea was to destroy it, right? Because that's kind of the initial instinct. But you're totally right. A Sigma's not going to do enough DPS to destroy it. You've literally just got to dip. Like, that is the pro gamer move to get out of there, because he got singled out so fast, eliminated. But I do want to say, again, St. John's, they rolled. This team, I'm pretty sure, made it all the way to semifinals last year. They've completed their anime arc. They are an absolute powerhouse of a team that we've seen so far. So Cincinnati really just drawing the short straw there with a brand new roster. A lot of potential, though. A lot of growth in Cincinnati. We saw some great adaptation throughout the game. We just need to see perhaps a little bit more progress as a team. Growing a little bit more, playing together. Like you said earlier, all about synergy.
And they got time. I mean, it's very early on in the season. They've got
Week
the
one.
fall. They've got the spring. They've got quite a few bit of games. And, you know, I'm not going to say Cincinnati could be the best team in the league, but I could definitely see them having a strong showing, you know, being, you know, I would say in the upper echelons of EGF Overwatch.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually going to throw to a super short break. We're still too far behind schedule, so no interviews today, unfortunately. But we've got one more game for you guys in just a couple of minutes. Get up, drink water, do whatever. You know the spiel by now. We'll see you right back here in a couple of minutes.